Hey guys, it's Miss Labodian back with another reading of Wonder. In my last video, it actually cut off partway through. I wasn't reading it, but fortunately, it just cut off right at the end of the chapter, Switching Tables on page 174. So I'm just gonna reread that whole chapter. It's literally just like half to 3/4 of a page. So it's really not too bad. So that's why I'm rereading it. Sorry, it cut off. But basically, we've just found out a little bit more about Jack Will. We found out that Julian's really trying to make his life and Augie's life pretty miserable by turning basically all of the boys in their class against him. So that's what we found out, and now we are on Switching Tables, page 174. The next day at lunch, stupid me, I sat down at a table with Tristan, Nino, and Pablo. I thought maybe they were safe because they weren't really considered popular, but they weren't out there playing D&D at recess either. They were sort of in-betweeners, and at first I thought I scored because they were basically too nice not to acknowledge my presence when I walked over to the table. They said, hey, though I could tell that they looked at each other weird. But then the same thing happened that happened yesterday. Our lunch table was called, they got their food, and they headed toward a new table on the other side of the cafeteria. Unfortunately, Mrs. G, who was the lunch teacher that day, saw what happened and chased after them. That's not allowed, boys, she scolded them loudly. This is not that kind of school. You get right back to your table. Oh, great. Like that was going to help. Before they could be forced to sit back down at the table with me, I got up with my tray and I walked away really fast. I could hear Mrs. G call my name, but I pretended not to hear and just kept walking to the other side of the cafeteria, behind the lunch counter. Sit with us, Jack. It was summer. She and August were sitting at their table, and they were both waving me over. Okay, so we kind of see that connection with Jack, like I said, and Via and Augie, who have had trouble with sitting with people at lunch and, people not wanting to sit with them. So that's definitely a reoccurring theme. That is something that people experience in their everyday life. Unfortunately, it is really tough, but they are all experiencing similar versions of it. So the next chapter is Why I Didn't Sit with August the First Day of School on page 175. Okay, I'm a total hypocrite. I know. The very first day of school, I remember seeing August in the cafeteria. Everybody was looking at him, talking about him. Back then, no one used to be used to his face or the fact that he was coming to Beecher. So it was a total shocker for a lot of people to see him there on the first day of school. Most kids were afraid to even get near him. So when I saw him going into the cafeteria ahead of me, I knew he'd have no one to sit with, but I just couldn't bring myself to sit with him. I had been hanging out with him all morning long because we had so many classes together. And I guess I was just kind of wanting a little more normal time to chill with other kids. So when I saw him move to a table on the other side of the lunch counter, I purposely found a table as far away as I could find. I sat down with Isaiah and Luca, even though I had never met them before, and we talked about baseball the whole time, and I played basketball with them at recess. They became my lunch table from then on. I heard Summer had sat down with August, which surprised me because I knew for a fact she wasn't one of the kids that Tushman had talked to about being friends with Augie. So I knew she was doing it just to be nice, and that was pretty brave, I thought. So now I was sitting with Summer and August, and they were being totally nice to me as always. I filled them in about everything with Charlotte, except for the whole big part about me having snapped under the pressure of being Augie's friend. Or the part about Julian's mom saying that Augie had special needs. Or the part about the school board. I guess all I really told him was how Julian had had a holiday party and managed to turn the whole grade against me. It just feels so weird, I said, to not have people talking to you, pretending you don't exist. Augie started smiling. You think? He said sarcastically. Welcome to my world. So in this little part here, we see the connection between Augie and Jack Will. Jack Will is finally starting to get a little glimpse, just a little glimpse, into Augie's life, something that Augie deals with every second of every day, and he's experiencing it probably for the first time. So maybe he'll be a little more empathetic toward Augie, a little more understanding of what a situation like that could be like, because a lot of us, we don't even know what it would be like to be in Augie's case. So he has a little bit of understanding now, but still nothing compared to what Augie deals with. The next chapter is called Sides, and it is on page 177. So here are the official sides, said Summer at lunch the next day. She pulled out a folded piece of loose leaf paper and opened it. It had 3 columns of names: Jack's side, Julian's side, and neutrals. So this is how it looks, and it's a list of sides, so I will read them. Jack's side: Jack, August, Reed, Max G, Max W. Julian's side: Miles, Henry, Amos, Simon, Tristan, Pablo, Nino, Isaiah, Luca, Jake, Toland, Roman, Ben, Emmanuel, Zeke, Tommaso. Neutrals: Malik, Remo, Jose, Leif, Ram, Ivan, and Russell. Where did you get this? Said Augie, looking over on my shoulder as I read the list. Charlotte made it, Summer answered quickly. She gave it to me last period. She said she thought you should know who was on your side, Jack. Yeah, not many people, that's for sure, I said. Reed is, she said, and the 2 Maxes. Great, the nerds are on my side. Don't be mean, said Summer. I think Charlotte likes you, by the way. Yeah, I know. Are you going to ask her out? Are you kidding? I can't. Now that everyone's acting like I have the plague. The second I said it, I realized I shouldn't have. There it was, an awkward moment of silence. I looked at Augie. It's okay, he said. I knew about that. Sorry, dude, I said. I didn't know they called it the plague, though, he said. I figured it was more like cheese touch or something. Oh yeah, from Diary of the Wimpy Kid, I nodded. The plague actually sounds cooler, he joked. Like someone could catch the black plague of ugliness. As he said this, he made air quotes. I think it's awful, said Summer, but Augie shrugged while taking a big sip from his juice box. Anyway, I'm not asking Charlotte out, I said. My mom thinks we're all too young to be dating anyway, she answered. What if Reed asked you out? I said. Would you go? I could tell she was surprised. No, she said. I'm just asking, he laughed. Or I laughed. She shook her head and smiled. Why? What do you know? Nothing, I'm just asking, I said. I actually agree with my mom, she said. I do think we're too young to be dating. I mean, I don't see what the rush is. Yeah, I agree, said August. Which is kind of a shame, you know, with all those babes who keep throwing themselves at me and stuff. He said this in such a funny way that the milk I was drinking came out of my nose when I laughed, which made us totally crack up. So here we see August definitely has a really good sense of humor. He's really able to make fun of himself and be lighthearted about it. And I think if more people realized that he was like that, they would think of him as more of a normal kid. He often is able to just to make light of hard situations. So I think a lot of people don't know that about him, but Jack does, and I think Jack really likes that about him. Okay, page 180, this is a new chapter called August's House. I was gonna say horse. August's house. It was already the middle of January, and we still hadn't even chosen what science fair project we were going to work on. I guess I kept putting it off because I didn't want to do it. Finally, August was like, dude, we have to do this. So we went to his house after school. I was really nervous because I didn't know if August had ever told his parents about what we called him the Halloween incident. Turns out the dad wasn't even home and the mom was out running errands. I'm pretty sure that for the 2 seconds I'd spent talking to her, that Augie had never mentioned a thing about it. She was super cool and friendly toward me. When I walked into Augie's room, I was like, whoa, Augie, you have a serious Star Wars addiction. He had ledges full of Star Wars miniatures and a huge The Empire Strikes Back poster on his wall. I know, right? He laughed. He sat down on a rolling chair next to his desk, and I plopped down on a beanbag chair in the corner. That's when his dog waddled into the room right up to me. He was on your holiday card, I said, letting the dog sniff my hand. She, he corrected me, Daisy. You can pet her, she doesn't bite. When I started petting her, she basically just rolled onto her back. She wants you to rub her tummy, said August. Okay, this is the cutest dog I've ever seen, I said, rubbing her stomach. I know, right? She's the best dog in the world. Aren't you, girly? As soon as she heard Augie's voice say that, the dog started wagging her tail and went over to him. Who's my little girly? Who's my little girly? Augie was saying that as she licked him all over the face. I wish I had a dog, I said. My parents think our apartment's too small. I started looking around at the stuff in his room while he turned on his computer. Hey, you got an Xbox 360? Can we play? Dude, we have to work on the science fair project. Do you have Halo? Of course I have Halo. Please, can we play? He had logged on to the Beecher website and now was scrolling down Miss Rubin's teacher page through the list of science fair projects. Can you see from there, he said. I signed and went to sit on the little stool that was next to him. Cool iMac, I said. What kind of computer do you have? Dude, I don't even have my own room, much less my own computer. My parents have this ancient Dell that's practically dead. Okay, how about this one, I said, turning the screen in my direction so I would look. I made a quick scan of the screen and my eyes literally started blurring. Make a sun clock, he said. That sounds kind of cool. I leaned back. Can't we just make a volcano? Everybody makes volcanoes. Duh, because it's easy, I said, petting Daisy again. What about how to make crystal spikes out of Epsom salt? Sounds boring, I answered. So why'd you call her Daisy? He didn't look up from the screen. My sister named her. I wanted to call her Darth. Actually, technically speaking, her full name is Darth Daisy, but we never call her that. Darth Daisy? That's funny. Hi, Darth Daisy, I said to the dog, who rolled onto her back for me to rub her tummy again. Okay, this one is the one, said August, pointing to a picture of the screen of a bunch of potatoes with wires poking out of them. How to build an organic battery made of potatoes. Now that's cool. It says here you could power a lamp with it. We could call it the Spud lamp or something. What do you think? Dude, that sounds way too hard. You know I suck at science. Shut up, you do not. Yeah, I do. I got a 54 on my last test. I suck at science. No, you don't. And that was only because we were still fighting and I wasn't helping you. I can help you now. This is a good project, Jack. We've got to do it. Fine, whatever, I shrugged. Just then there was a knock at the door. A teenage girl with long, dark, wavy hair poked her head inside the door. She wasn't expecting to see me. Oh, hey, she said to both of us. Hey, Via, said August, looking back at the computer screen. Via, this is Jack. Jack, that's Via. Hey, I said, nodding hello. Hey, she said, looking at me carefully. I knew the second Augie said my name that he had told her about all the stuff I said about him. I could tell from the way she looked at me. In fact, the way she looked at me made me think she remembered me from that day at Carville on Amsforth Avenue all those years ago. Augie, I have a friend I want you to meet, okay? She said. He's coming over in a few minutes. Is he your new boyfriend? August teased. Via kicked the bottom of the chair. Just be nice, she said, and left the room. Dude, your sister's hot, I said. I know. She hates me, right? You told her about the Halloween incident? Yeah, she hates me. Or yeah, you told her about the Halloween. Both. Okay, so that is the end of that chapter, and the last chapter in Jack Will's part is called The Boyfriend on page 184. 2 minutes later, the sister came back with a guy named Justin. Seemed like a cool enough dude, longish hair, little round glasses. He was carrying a big, long, shiny silver case that ended with a sharp point at the end. Justin, this is my little brother August, said Via, and that's Jack. Hey guys, said Justin, shaking our hands. He seemed a little nervous. I guess maybe it was because it was the first time he was meeting August. Sometimes I forgot what a shock it was when you meet him. Cool room. Are you Via's boyfriend? August asked mischievously, and his sister pulled his cap down over his face. What's in your case, I said. A machine gun? Ha! Answered the boyfriend. That's funny. No, it's a fiddle. Justin's a fiddler, said Via. He's in a band. What the heck? Said August, looking at me. It's just a type of music Justin likes to play. It's Creole music. What's Creole? I said. You should tell people that's a machine gun, said Augie. No one would ever mess with you. Ha, I guess you're right, Justin said, nodding and tucking his hair behind his ears. Creole's the kind of music they play in Louisiana, he said to me. Are you from Louisiana? I asked. No, he answered, pushing his glasses. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know why this made me want to laugh. Come on, Justin, said Via, pulling him by the hand. Let's go hang out in my room. Okay, see you later, guys. Bye, he said. Bye. Bye. As soon as he left the room, Augie looked at me smiling. I'm from Brooklyn, I said, and we both started laughing hysterically. Okay, so that is the end of Jack Will's part. I would love to know in the comments, or just think to yourself, what do you think of Jack Will, and how has your thought of him or your perception of him changed from before his part of the book to now that we can actually know a little bit more about him? We know his internal thoughts. We know the way he thinks and feels toward Augie and toward everything. Have your thoughts changed? Do you like Jack more? Do you like Jack less? What do you think about Jack? Because at first I was kind of thinking like, I don't know if I like Jack so much. I think he's maybe not as good of a guy as we thought at the beginning. But now as we started reading more, I kind of like Jack, and I think that he's a really good friend to Augie, and they balance each other out, and I think he's really good. So what do you think of Jack? This is part 5, so it is a new character. Can you guess who it is? It is Justin. So we know nothing about Justin. I think he was mentioned in Via's part 1. I think she mentioned a cute guy that she instantly had a crush on, and that was Justin, and that's all that we know, and that he's in a band and plays the fiddle. That is all that we know. So I'm curious to learn more, but I guess he is Via's boyfriend or somebody Via is seeing. So Justin, it starts on page 187, and it is titled Olivia's Brother. The first time I met Olivia's little brother, I have to admit, I'm totally taken by surprise. I shouldn't be, of course. Olivia's told me about his syndrome and even described what he looks like. But she also talks about all the surgeries over the years, so I guess I assumed he'd be more normal looking by now. Like when a kid is born with a cleft lip and has plastic surgery to fix it, sometimes you can't even tell that they had a cleft lip before, and there's only a little scar above it. I guess I thought her brother would have some scars here and there, but not this. I definitely wasn't expecting to see this little kid in a baseball cap who's sitting in front of me right now. Actually, there are 2 kids sitting in front of me. One is a totally normal looking kid with curly blonde hair named Jack. The other is Augie. I like to think I'm able to hide my surprise. I hope I do. Surprise is one of those emotions that can be hard to fake though. Whether you're trying to look surprised or you're trying to not look surprised. I shake his hand. I shake the other kid's hand. Don't want to focus on his face. Cool room, I say. Are you Via's boyfriend, he says. I think he's smiling. Olivia pushes down his baseball cap. Is that a machine gun? The blonde kid asks, like I haven't heard that one before. And we talk about my band for a bit. And then Via's taking my hand and leading me out of the room. As soon as we close the door behind us, we hear them laughing. I just want to add that this is a kind of a weird part because Justin's writing is, there's like no periods, no commas, there's like I's by themselves that aren't uppercase, so the grammar is really weird. It's kind of hard to read. It's strange. I don't know why they did that. Just thought I'd mention it. I'm from Brooklyn, one of them sings. Olivia rolls her eyes and smiles. Let's go hang out in my room, she says. We've been dating for 2 months now. Oh, we didn't know that. I knew from the moment I saw her, the minute she sat down at our table in the cafeteria, that I liked her. I couldn't keep my eyes off of her. Really beautiful, with all the skin and the bluest eyes I've ever seen in my life. At first, she acted like she only wanted to be friends. I think she kind of gives off that vibe without meaning to. Stay back, don't even bother. She doesn't flirt like some other girls do. She looks at you right in the eye when she talks to you, like she's daring you. So I just kept looking her right in the eye too, like I was daring her right back. And then I asked her out, and then she said yes, which rocked. She's an awesome girl, and I love hanging out with her. She didn't tell me about August until our third date. I think she used the phrase, a craniofacial abnormality, to describe his face. Or maybe it was craniofacial anomaly. I know one word she didn't use was deformed though, because that would have registered with me. So what did you think? She asked me nervously the second we were in a room. Are you shocked? No, I lie. She smiles and looks away. You're shocked. I'm not, I assure her. He's just like what you said he'd be. She nods and plops down on her bed. Kind of cute how she still has her stuffed animals on her bed. She takes one of them, a polar bear, without thinking, and puts it on her lap. I sit down on the rolling chair by her desk. Her room is immaculate. When I was little, she says, there were lots of kids who never came back for a second play date. I mean, lots of kids. I even had friends who wouldn't come to my birthdays because he would be there. They never actually told me this, but it would get back to me. Some people just don't know how to deal with Augie, you know? I nod. It's not even like they're being mean, she adds. They were just scared. I mean, let's face it. His face is a little scary, right? I guess, I answer. But you're okay with it? She asks me sweetly. You're not too freaked out or scared? I'm not freaked out or scared. I smile. She nods and looks down at the polar bear on her lap. I can't tell whether she believes me or not, but then she gives the polar bear a kiss on the nose and tosses it to me with a little smile. I think that means she believes me, or at least she wants to. Okay, so that is all I'm going to read for this reading. I'm concerned that my video is going to stop again, so I'm going to stop here. So we learned a little bit about Justin, not really so much. He's a little bit freaked out with Augie. He used the word deformed, and he said basically that Via didn't use the word deformed, but that would have registered with him. So almost saying like she should have used that word. I definitely don't think she should have, but it does take people some time. So he's not being rude about it, but you could tell he is really shocked. He didn't expect his face to look that way. He kind of thought there would be some scarring and that was it. And it is a lot more than he thought, but he seems to be okay with it. He's telling Via it's not a big deal to make her feel better. So that's really good. And we'll see what happens with Justin. I'm definitely curious. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you're enjoying the book. We are about, I don't want to say 3/4 of the way, but almost. So this is how much we've read and this is how much we have left. So not that much. I think we only have a couple more characters. There's Justin, Augie is again, and then there might be one more. I'm not too sure. But we are making our way through this book. I really hope you're liking it. I definitely am. And yeah, I might do another book after this. So if you are watching these videos and you do have an account, please comment down below what book you would like me to do, because I'm willing to buy a book if I don't have the one you want me to read, or I have a lot of books, so maybe I have it. But do let me know if you want me to. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.